This helps us compete with big money because I think a level playing field, we win. We win every single time. That is $500 of your taxpayer money being dedicated to you that you can send to any federal candidate of your choice. So $500 to Allison, where the first time in your life, you get to say exactly where your taxpayer money goes. You could say, I have $500 dedicated to me. I want to send 50 to Tim Sawinski. I want to send 100 to this candidate or $500 to this candidate. And what that does is incentivize candidates to go into communities and hear what it's actually like to struggle instead of being on the phone 12 hours a day calling people who can give you the max donation. Those people, I'm sure, have concerns that are legitimate, but they don't struggle like the people who can't afford a lobbyist. Yeah. I want more politicians to be incentivized to go to them. And if we do that, I swear in 2 elections, we will have completely different political culture. So these are the underlying issues that I'm trying to address that allowed Trump to come to power, that has allowed the erosion of our democracy, and that will make, our future just a little bit brighter. I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of looking up and being disappointed. I want to just feel something hopeful again. And if I can do that by changing our system, even just a little bit, then that's worth fighting for. Every time it's worth fighting for.
That's a beautiful thing, man. And, as a millennial, as a fellow millennial, I get really excited when I see guys like you, because this change isn't going to come unless we have a youth movement, because right now it just feels like a bunch of old people are yelling at each other. Bibi and Trump are old. They're yelling at a 78-year-old Ayatollah Khomeini. I mean, it's just a bunch of old men yelling at each other, trying to keep what little power they have for as long as they have. So it's great to see you come out and do your thing. What I would like to know is, who politically inspired you, in your, as you've been, educating yourself, maybe some politicians that inspired you to come out and put action behind your words. And then, how does that inform the race that you're running and kind of separate you from your primary candidate? Or your primary opponent?
Just, it's a great question. And I just kind of think being inspired by politicians is just not my thing. I was raised by my mom, who's a historian. And so I grew up hearing about stories of peak pivotal moments in our country, and the people who showed up to be truly transformational were always underdogs. I think of Fannie Lou Hamer, which a lot of people don't think of in the civil rights movement. That phrase, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, came from her. And she did not even have a high school education. And yet she became a voice of an entire generation of people fighting for basic dignity and rights in our country. I think about people in the labor movement who are just told they have to work 7 days a week. Their kids have to work 7 days a week. And even though the odds were against them, they fought back and they won anyway. I mean, since my mom is very much a very prideful feminist, like I heard all about the women's suffrage movement, not just in America, but across the world. And that's the thing. I think that when people without the power that's on paper realize that just because everything else in our system tells you that if you're not rich enough, therefore you're not powerful enough to stop them. The best moments in our history that have benefited the most of the majority of us, they have come from people who proved that mentality wrong. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. I don't take corporate money. I am the poorest candidate by far in my primary. And that's okay because I'm not wealthy and well-connected, so I can't just have a house party with 20 people who can give me $5,700 and max out their donation. I'd win this primary right now, but it's supposed to be hard. They're supposed to be the people with the least and doing something for them. That's the true measure of progress in our country. The people who are left out in the cold, that's how strong we are as a country, is if we're making sure that their voices are a part of the process too. So, FDR, maybe just because he thought that the government should be part of making sure we can lift people up. And he also believed that if we didn't do that, our system would fall into fascism. I mean, that's what happened. The same time that he became president, Hitler and Mussolini came to power. He knew that if America didn't deliver for the American people, we would have a situation like we are having exactly right now. So this is not just me trying to act like, I'm pushing some agenda. There's a reason I call myself a reformist. That's not just about my policy, but that's the way we think about how government works. And if we don't do that, we're going to continue to slide into a dark period that I'm afraid we won't be able to get out of. But if we do, and if I don't win my primary, because I know I'll beat Rob Whitman 1,000 times over, but I'm still going to fight. And that's the moment we need to think about right now, because everything is under attack. Everything's on the line. People's dignity and rights is on the lines. And if we're going to respect that, 2026, not 2028, 2026 is the time to do it.